Okay. Can you see the slides? Can everyone see? You can give me a thumbs up or a, yep, we're good. Okay, cool. How to become indispensable as a freelance writer. And this is something that I like to talk about because this was the thing that made the difference for me between really struggling and being able to feel like a professional, know what I was doing, contribute to my clients' businesses, and generally speaking, become their go-to writer because I got it. So my goal is for y'all to get it as well. So we are talking, of course, about digital marketing. Digital marketing is kind of a big, scary term because it means all kinds of things. And we get them confused or we just don't really understand what's going on. So essentially, in its essence, digital marketing is any kind of marketing that is seen or accessed on the web. So we're talking banner ads, Facebook ads, emails that you get that are selling something, sales pages, Shopify, storefronts, all of that stuff is digital marketing. Digital marketing is not like commercials that you would see on television or hear on the radio or print journalism. A lot of the same principles apply, but the tactics and some of the principles are different for digital marketing. So, like I said, anything that you see on the web is digital marketing. For example, so if the umbrella of digital marketing is massive, there are lots and lots of smaller umbrellas underneath. These are some, of those smaller umbrellas. One of them is content marketing, which you may have heard of, social media marketing, ads like digital advertising you might see on Facebook or Instagram, or I think Twitter is doing ads now. Pinterest calls theirs their promoted pins. There's direct response marketing, which is a very specific type of marketing. There's email marketing, there's affiliate marketing, and these are just kind of most of the biggies. This is not an exhaustive list. An example of content marketing is like free reports. Download our free report, enter your email address to get our free report. Or I think today I put in my email address for, it was a list of sensory input activities you can do with your kids when they're bouncing off the walls, which mine tend to do. So now I have this like printable thing of all these different activities or things that I can have my kids do to activate all their different sensory needs. That's content marketing. And now I'm on their email list and et cetera. So social media marketing is doing, for example, sponsored posts on Instagram or sending out tweets or just like your marketing, your awareness that you want to build or things you want to promote on social media. We've got ads, so the banner ads, the Facebook ads, Instagram ads, anything that is specifically saying, hey, go buy this thing. Direct response marketing typically is going to happen in a sales environment. So online, that usually is going to look like a sales page. And direct response marketing gets its name because the goal of direct response specifically is to get you to respond directly. So direct response began in the mail. It was mailers or maybe like a page in the back of a magazine or a catalog that was like, hey, you want your moonstones? Mail a check in a self-addressed stamped envelope and a check for $5 to this address, and we will mail you back your moonstones or your sea monkeys or your magnetic orthotics or your family crest or your whatever it is. That putting your check in the mail and ordering this thing that they're advertising is the foundation of direct response. So in the digital environment, it basically looks like a sales page with an order form. And an OTO. OTO stands for one-time offer. So that's an upsell. After you buy something, you get some new special offer. I tend to make one-time offers after my sales pages because I I have a lot of stuff that's available. And so, you know, if you think this thing might help you, this thing might help you too. And you can get it on a discount if you want to, and that sort of thing. So that's what direct response means. It's a very specific style of writing as well. There have been lots and lots of books, courses, experts, lectures, YouTube channels, all that stuff teaching the specific approach of the direct response marketer. And some might say it's old school copywriting, but I don't necessarily know that I would call it that. It's still very relevant to what we do today. Email marketing. For example, abandoned cart emails. And I know that you've seen these where you go to check out and then you don't finish. And so you get an email 2 hours later that's like, hey, you forgot this. Do you still want this thing? And maybe they email you the next day and they're like, hey, we're still holding this thing, but we can't hold it for much longer. And then maybe 3 days later, they're like, oh, okay, how about 10% off? That is email marketing. The emails that you get from me are email marketing. I'm not always selling something, but I am still marketing to you because I want you to be aware of me and what I'm doing and what I'm offering. I want to demonstrate how I can help you so that when you are ready to make a purchasing decision, I might be the one that you decide to go with. It's all email marketing, and it's all done over email. And then we have affiliate marketing, which is like use my code and get 10% off, which most of us have seen, or it's use this link and it might be my affiliate link, which means that if you use my link to buy this thing, I receive a commission at no extra charge to you. And you can do the other thing about all of these types of digital marketing is that they kind of, they sort of cross-pollinate. They can mix, they can blend. You can do affiliate marketing inside email marketing or inside social media marketing. I've even seen affiliate marketing done through advertising. You can layer direct response into all of your copy. You can maybe you put together a free download. That's content. And then you take you like promote your free download on your social media channels. So you are content marketing on social media. Maybe you promote it on your website. That is also content marketing. Maybe you promote it in your emails. So now you are email marketing your content. It's another type of content marketing. So they all sort of play together. They all kind of can interact. And the more you understand where this one thing that your client wants you to write, the more you understand how that is going to be used, the better you can write it, because you see the big picture. You know who is going to be receiving it and what they already know or what they don't know, maybe how familiar they are with this subject. Where they're going to see it might affect how you write it, because if they're going to mostly see it on Instagram, you might write it for the millennial audience, whereas if they're going to be seeing it mostly on Facebook or over email, maybe it goes to people in their 40s and 50s. You know, I don't know. But the more you understand how it will be used, again, the better you can write it, because you're bringing a lot more context and a lot more awareness to your work. So I'm going to pause here because that's like a lot of information, especially if you're new to this. Does anyone have questions about the types of digital marketing? Let me pull up the chat. I don't see anything in the chat either. Okay, no, we're good. Okay, we're going to move on. Putting it all together, I have 5 examples of how you can layer the types of digital marketing on top of each other so they all work together. So example number 1, you start with an ad, and you click on the ad and it takes you to a sales page, which takes you to an order form. After you buy the thing, then you get your one-time offer, and then you have a confirmation page with a you might also like. And then you get plunked into their email list for ongoing marketing emails. So like the order form maybe, or the checkout. Editing my presentation in real time. Another example of a funnel is maybe you see a pin on Pinterest, and that pin takes you to a blog post while you're reading the blog post, you get a pop-up. The pop-up says enter your email address for our free download. So you do that, and on the confirmation page, you have a $7 to like a maybe $3 to $10 offer. That's called a tripwire. The tripwire offer is the really small one. If you decide that you want this tripwire, then maybe you'll get a bigger offer for like the full bundle pack. That would take you to a confirmation page. Then you get the ongoing emails. And inside those ongoing emails, you're going to get affiliate offers given to you via email marketing, which is how a lot of bloggers make their money. They do affiliate marketing. Another example, Instagram posts with hashtags lead you to a Shopify store. In the Shopify store, you read a product description, you add it to your cart, then you abandon your checkout because the cat knocked a plant off the mantle again and you have to go clean it up. Then you forget you were going to buy this widget. So then 2 hours later, you get an abandoned cart email, or maybe the whole sequence. And by then you've talked yourself out of it. You don't actually want to buy this cat hammock because you're mad at your cat. So you sit on it for like 2 weeks, and then they send you what's called a win back deal, which is usually a discount or a promo code of some sort. Then maybe you decide to buy it, and then you are on their ongoing email list. So this has, I should have broken this down again. So we start on Instagram. So it's social media to a Shopify, product description, add to cart, abandon checkout, puts you into email marketing. Those are just two of the bits. Here's another one. If you've hung out with me long enough, this might seem a little bit familiar to you. You listen to a free podcast. It points you to a free Facebook group that you can join. Inside the Facebook group, they ask you if you want to get on the mailing list, and you say, hey, sure. So you give your email address, you start getting the ongoing emails. In one of these emails, you read about an info session, and at the info session, maybe you decide to buy a course, which is exactly what we're doing here. Not that it's about buying a course, but anyway, this is the funnel that you might be in at the moment. Here is another one. You see a tweet. The tweet points you to a website. The website, like the blog, has a pop-up offering you a free report to download. You like this report. Maybe it solves the exact problem you have in your business. And you see at the end of this report that whoever wrote it, whoever put it out there, offers consulting on this particular problem. And so you send an inquiry about their new services, you book a demo or a sales call, and then you decide you like this, so you become a client. That is another way that you can put all this together. This last one is very kind of like B2B type thing, where you'll see a lot of reports and stuff, really heavy on that kind of text heavy, information heavy content marketing for agencies and software companies and things like that. Any question about any of these? Now that we see the big picture, I put these together to kind of give you an idea of the big picture. Okay, so in addition to all this ongoing digital marketing stuff, a big piece of the digital marketing pie is the launch. A launch is another word for a big promotion. And when launches, at least as far as I can recall, when launches first got started, it was basically just referring to like the first time it was promoted. We are launching this thing, and it's the maiden voyage of this course or this board game or this new service or whatever. So launch is when a big promotion happens. Sometimes these days a launch can be referred to anytime you have a big promotion. It doesn't necessarily have to be the first one. So it can just be a new campaign for an existing offer. Launches are designed to make a lot of noise, like a lot of noise, and they have a mountain of content and copy involved to make all of that noise. So included in most launches, you're going to find pre-launch content, which usually is going to look like emails, social posts, maybe like Insta story scripts, blog posts, podcasts, episodes, stuff like that, mostly content. you will have your launch copy and your content. So that's like the week maybe of the launch. You have specific emails, promo emails. You've got social posts. You've got all the copy for the funnel pages, or for the shop. You've got the ads. You've got scripts if you're going to do a webinar or any other kind of presentation. And then once the doors are open and it's out in the wild, you've got your follow-up copy and content, which often will look certainly like emails, social media posts, maybe some retargeting ads for people who've seen the offer but decided not to get it, and things like that. So it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, and it's very kind of pressurized. A lot of stuff is going out in a pretty short window of time. Launch styles and the funnels behind them vary. So some might be kind of quiet. Some might be just over email. Some might be just on social. Some might be everywhere. Normally the goal is really big sales. There are some entrepreneurs out there who they launch one time a year, and it's like 80% of their annual income is this one launch. I personally would find that very stressful. It's not my style. So here is where you, as the writer, fit into this picture. Most, if not all, steps in any funnel or any launch will have copy to write. Any or even all of that copy can be outsourced, and that's where we come in. So as the writer, you can specialize if you want and offer specific types of writing, like I do all the social posts. You can offer services just for a specific niche, like B2B is one that I mentioned, or mommy bloggers, or what have you, digital entrepreneurs. I don't know. I've been writing a lot of food funnels lately, so maybe my niche is food funnels, entrepreneurs who have classes teaching people how to make stuff. Or you can specialize for a specific type of client. So that might be female entrepreneurs, or it might be the people who are fitness. I guess fitness would be more of a niche. Fitness professionals who want to have online courses, that would be like a specific type of client. You can also generalize and offer anything to anyone who needs it. And you can do anything between those two ends of the spectrum as well. You can get super, super specialized. I have a friend, my friend Amisha, she does launch copy only, and she does it for online businesses at a certain threshold of revenue. Like, her thing is very specific. Or you can say, I work with online businesses only, or I work with coaches, but it can, maybe it's any kind of coaches. You can pick wherever you want to sit on that spectrum. One question I get a lot of the time is, what happens if you have two things that you offer, like two specific services or two specific types of client you want to work with? What do you do? And my recommendation, just by the way, is to lead with one or two, or lead with one, but then take anything that comes along. So I might market myself as a book ghostwriter, but if someone comes to me and they want to talk about a book, but also they need emails and they want to spruce up a sales page, and can I help them with the presentation? I can say, yeah, I can help you with that too. Do we have any questions about where we fit in, or how to see where we fit in? Any questions about that? Not seeing anything or hearing anything. Okay. This is a principle that, when I finally kind of realized that this was part of my writing process, I started telling people and found it pretty helpful. So I'm going to share it with you. Every piece of copy has two desired outcomes attached. And those are the desired outcome of the creator, which by that I usually am talking about your client. Maybe it's you, could be you, but usually it's going to be your client. and the desired outcome of the consumer. So if we're talking about writing, then it's going to be the desired outcome of maybe it's the blogger and the reader, or the business owner and the buyer. So the types of outcomes that creators want are sales. They want a click. They want someone to download something. They want a follow. They want a share. They want an opt-in. Did I say that already? So that's their main goal with any specific piece of content. Maybe, so if I'm writing an email, and in this email, I want people to click over to a sales page, the desired outcome of this email that I'm writing is a click. Ultimately, my desire might be to have another enrollment, or it might be to get to have maybe some shares or some follows or some activity on a Facebook post or something. But really, in this email, the only thing I want to do is get someone to click. The desired outcome of the consumer, we're usually talking about the reader in that case, is going to boil down to easing a fear, relieving a pain, or achieving a desire. And this can be as significant as, I have high blood pressure, and if I don't get it down, I'm going to have a stroke in the next 6 months. And it can be as frivolous as, I'm bored and I want someone to entertain me. Oh, look, here's a funny email. They say this thing over here is funny. Oh, I'll go check it out. That's relieving the pain of boredom. So when you can write, when you have an assignment for a client and you understand what the client wants to happen inside this, when the person reads this thing, and you understand what the person reading it is looking for, you can find a way to marry the two together, and then you have a very effective piece of writing. I want to see this next slide. So as you keep the outcomes in mind as you're writing, everything you write will revolve around giving the consumer what they're after. So you identify the pain point, or you get really clear on the desire. You know, a really common desire is, I want to lose weight. So maybe I'm writing a social media post, maybe an Instagram post, and I know that this audience is an audience that really their desire is to lose weight. So I'm thinking, okay, what is the outcome? Maybe the outcome is to leave a comment. So I'm thinking, okay, they want to lose weight and my client wants them to leave a comment on this post. What can I talk about, and how can I talk about it in such a way as to encourage, to like meet the need of wanting information about losing weight, but also motivating them to leave a comment? So it revolves around what they are after. Are they trying to increase pleasure? Are they trying to avoid pain? Are they trying to reduce a fear? What does a win look like for them? And this can often be a way to boost engagement, is to give them a win. Also think about, how much do they already know about either the offer that you're making or just the content that you're writing about? When you can identify where they are in the process, on the spectrum of knowledge, maybe your thing is like, eat mushrooms 3 times a day and lose 50 pounds in a month. Maybe that's your thing. And so do your people know about the mushrooms and they just want more interesting recipes for breakfast because they're tired of mushroom and eggs? Or have they never heard about this mushroom theory? And so you need to bring some measure of education to them to kind of introduce it. So that's what I mean when I say meet them where they are. What are they looking for and what do they already have? Tailor your writing to meet them there. You give them a win, and then you also fold in the outcome, the strategic goal that your client had in mind. So let's put this all together. If I'm writing for a fitness professional who has this new diet plan that says you eat mushrooms, include mushrooms at every meal, and I am marketing to people who don't really know very much about this yet because it's on Instagram and maybe they found me through a hashtag, I might write and the goal is to get them to leave a comment. I might write an Instagram post that says something about, maybe I would do like a multiple choice, or maybe a true or false. maybe I would do 2 truths and a lie. That could be fun. So 2 truths and a lie. And so number 1 is the sky is green. Number 2 is the grass is green. And number 3 is eating mushrooms 3 times a day will help you lose 50 pounds in a month. And then I say, which drop your answer, which one is the lie? Let me know in the comments. And maybe that will boost engagement. Let me see if I can think of another example off the cuff. Okay, I'll use one for my own business. I get a lot of questions about motivation. How do you stay motivated? So if I know that my audience is normally the people who ask about how do you stay motivated are people who are at the very beginning, or they're like toward the beginning, and they haven't had a lot of success yet. So I know that this is someone who's kind of toward the beginning. I know that their motivation is flagging and they want to avoid the pain of motivation. So what does a win look like for them? A win might look like making it easier to sit down to work, to pitch or whatever they need to do that day. And maybe I'm writing an email. So I'm writing an email to help people stay motivated. And what I want them to do is enroll in Clips Camp, maybe, which is a $27 product. And they've never heard of it. So now I know I want to write an email with advice for staying motivated that ends with the next logical step being enrolling in Clips Camp. Or at least clicking over to the sales page to look at Clips Camp. So then I might write this email with advice about staying motivated. And I might say 3 things you can do to stay motivated when you haven't found your first client yet. And it could be like, number 1 is set a work schedule. And number 2 is drink a mug of coffee. And number 3 is write a pitch template and send it to 100 businesses this week, something like that. That's not what I wouldn't say any of that, but I might say set a schedule. Anyway, now I can write this email and I might say, so I give my 3 pieces of advice and then I say, if you're ready, but you don't have your portfolio yet, check out Clips Camp. It will help you get your portfolio. And then that will help you stay motivated. I'm really tired. That was not a great email. That would not be a great email. Let me back that up. If I'm writing an email and I know that motivation is a problem and I want to sell Clips Camp, I might look at Clips Camp and think, okay, what is it about Clips Camp that can help people stay motivated? And when I was developing Clips Camp, it was actually in direct response to people saying, I can't find any clients, and me saying, have you written a portfolio? And them saying no. And so it was like, well, you're not going to find clients until you have a portfolio because you don't have anything to show them and it's embarrassing. And why would you want to go out and embarrass yourself? So what you need help with actually is not finding clients. You need help with writing a portfolio. So then I might sit down and write this email and say, the number 1 question I get is about how to stay motivated when you're still looking for that first client. And when I get this question, my response is always, do you have a portfolio? And if the answer is yes, then I can ask follow-up questions. If the answer is no, then I know that the hangup is not knowing how to find clients. The hangup is not having a portfolio. And you're going to lose motivation for searching for clients when you don't have a writing portfolio because you don't have anything that you are proud of showing. And so you are hesitant to promote yourself because you aren't really actually sure that you can even do this. So you lose motivation to even try. When you go through Clips Camp, I take you through the process, and your homework, your assignments are to build this portfolio. So by the time you go through the end of the course, you have a portfolio that you are happy to show clients, and you've also proven to yourself that you can actually do the work. So you feel more confident in your ability to deliver whatever they need. So if your issue with motivation has anything to do with not being sure of yourself as a writer, then Clipscamp is for you. I encourage you to check it out. So I hope that that shows the connection I'm trying to make between the creator's goal, which is to sell this program, and the reader's goal, which is to find more motivation. Now, someone can read this and think, you know, I think there's something to it. I think she's right that I am not motivated to go and market myself because I don't have any writing samples that I'm proud of. And that person might say, I'm going to go get her product, but that person might also say, I just need to write a few more clips, and they don't need my product. And that's fine. Like it's still a win for them because they have this, they've received this insight that they can then go work on themselves however they choose. And if they want to have my thing to help them, awesome. And if they can do it on their own, also awesome. It's a win for everybody. Any questions about that? On the spot email drafting. Not seeing any questions. Okay. All of this to say, the more you understand how your work fits into the client's overall strategy, the better your copy is going to be, because you can tailor it to fit the outcomes of the client and also the desires of the reader. When you get this, you're gonna win. You're gonna win at the game of life. You're gonna win at the game of freelancing. You're gonna have great testimonials. You're gonna have long-term clients who will never let you go. You're gonna have people sending you work. I get probably at least $7,000 or $8,000 a week of work referred to me from people who like my work. Current clients, past clients, people I've worked with before, people who are on the same teams that I'm on, stuff like that. You get a reputation. You have people recommending you who don't even know anything about you. They just keep hearing that you're really good. And you can charge higher rates, and you can move into more expensive projects if you want to move into these more expensive services. And this is why I spend so much time talking about digital marketing, even though we're talking about freelance writing. I really feel that understanding the greater context of what we're doing is going to make you so much more powerful and so much more capable as a writer. This was the thing that made the biggest difference for me. When I finally started to get this is when I really started to get traction. So quick overview on my career. I began in 2010. I kind of poked around. It was like a hobby thing. I was doing editing. I was kind of doing all this other stuff. My very first gig was from a friend. Most of my early gigs came from contacts. I became a single mom really unexpectedly, but I decided to keep with this freelance writing thing because I wanted to be able to stay home with my baby. And I struggled. Like I really struggled for a number of years. It was really, really hard. But finally, I started paying attention to what was going on around me. And I feel like I started to crack the code. So 2014 was the year that it all changed for me. And I went from making $900 in January of 2014, learning, working. And in December of 2014, I invoiced $3,500. And I took 2 weeks off to like get married and move. So somewhere along the way, it was really in like August or September is when things really finally started to click, and I was able to get really good traction. I was not making huge money, but after living on $1,500 a month for years, having $4,000 was like amazing. It was like I didn't have to worry about anything. I could actually start getting ahead. So that was when I first began learning about content marketing. I wasn't even learning about conversion copywriting at the time because I still felt really intimidated. And this was all really just blogging and understanding the funnels that worked. Like, what are the strategies of blogging? And so I was learning about emails, and I was learning about opt-ins and landing pages and stuff like that. Last year, fast forward to last year, I brought in approximately $150,000 working very part-time hours. Some of that was course sales, not a huge amount of it was. My highest earning month last year was just over 20,000, also working very part-time. I had a newborn last year during the month that I brought in 20K. I haven't really hit that again. That was a really good month. I had a wait list. I was just coming back from my maternity leave and I had a wait list backed up. So it was just sort of as much as I could knock out. And it was awesome. Currently, I typically make between 8 and 15K a month. I have very low overhead. I work half-time hours or less. I actually am working way less than half-time hours right now because my kids are home from school still. But we start preschool in a week and it will be less of a struggle. But the thing that made the difference is here when I began learning about content marketing. And then in 2017, I finally decided it was time to stop being intimidated by copy and to start learning it. And by 2019, I was really starting to understand all this digital marketing stuff that no one explained to me. I had to figure it out. I had to observe and I had to cross-reference and I had conversations and I was trying to see what other people were doing. And it took a lot of effort. I don't want you to have to put in that much time and that much effort, which is why we are here today. Now, this is what I call the fork in the road. Some people at this point, the people I tend to talk to, they either have more time available than they have money, and the priority is to save money or just to not spend money. They'll put in a lot of effort like I did over a longer time frame like I did to avoid having any expenditures. And then the other group is people who have more money available than they do time. Their priority is to save time or to collapse the timeline. Willing to spend some money if it means they can go faster, skip the months or the years of learning it out, of figuring it out, and get right to working and earning. I have stuff for both groups. So if time is more valuable to you than money, if you have more time than money and you are just looking for free help, I have my blog at ashleygainer.com. I have my podcast and I have my Facebook group in addition to my email list. I'm like emailing back and forth with readers, not every day, but almost every day. And my goal is to make these resources tremendously helpful for you, even if you never purchase anything from me ever. Because I was that person who couldn't buy anything ever either. And it was really hard for me to get help. So I don't want to put everything behind a paywall because it's really awesome when you can find what you need. If you have more money than you do time and you want to go faster, the best thing I have for you in terms of this conversation here is my course, Copy Confidential. I'm going to share just a little bit about it. This is what I call your training ground for becoming an indispensable content writer and or copywriter. It teaches both. It works with both. It gives context for both. It shows the interplay of both. There are no prerequisites. It teaches you how to write almost anything for your clients so that when they come to you and say, hey, we like this thing that you do you do this other stuff too? You can say yes and not leave that money on the table. All the steps are laid out in detail. Checklists, videos, walkthroughs, PDFs, worksheets, and more. I'm adding more stuff to the bonuses. There's also a private community in addition to the free group. There's a student group. It's much smaller. It's much more, I go live in there all the time. And I'm able to be a lot more active in there because it's smaller and more like self-supporting. Copy Confidential is divided into two parts. The first part is the writing fundamentals and the marketing fundamentals. It's like this on steroids, plus how to actually write the stuff. A lot of it is presented through the lens of strategy and like technique. Part two is the guides. I have 13 modules that teach you 13 specific ways of writing. So there's a blog post for how to write, there's a module for how to write blog posts. There's a module for how to write case studies, one for white papers, one for sales pages, one for landing pages, one for books, one for product descriptions, one for emails, like a bazillion types of emails. So these are, oh, I always forget I have this slide in here. These are all the ones, these are all the modules. I'm working on one for press releases, and I'm toying with the idea of one for Facebook ads, but that stuff shifts so quickly that I haven't decided about the Facebook ads. Plus, these are the bonuses. You get Client Bound, which teaches you 5 different client hunting methods. You get Project Foundations, which is what you can use when you're onboarding. You get Client Call Confidence, which is it's like a mock client call that we do, where I pretend that I'm looking for a writer and I set up a discovery call with you. Workload management, and the price sheets, which I'm really proud of. It's a pricing guide that kind of grows with you. So it's like, for your first one, charge this much. For your second one, charge this much. For your third one, charge this much. And then, you know, for subsequent ones, here's what you should charge. So that's Copy Confidential. Right now it's at $7.97. I'm in the process of taking it up to $9.97, or $99 a month for 9 months. That's the course. I'm opening it up for more questions. If anyone has, well, any questions whatsoever. It's been a quiet crowd today. Feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat if you'd like. And if no one has questions, we can go ahead and wrap.
This is Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Hello. I don't really have a question. I just think I realized my head has been not on the right things for quite some time. I think, well, I'm part of the 2020 depression crowd, so I just sort of fell off into that pool last year. And then I spent some money on another course that was kind of woo-woo, and sort of got into myself. And I think I forgot, as a copywriter, I'm trying to save my clients time. I'm working for them, and I don't think I'm focusing enough on them. And that's why I'm not getting anywhere. I just sitting here and it's just like, oh, your head's been in the wrong place.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that you've picked up really helpful knowledge and insights along the way, though. So, I mean, it wasn't a total waste, but now, you know, maybe you have a clearer direction, or at least some more ideas, maybe, I hope.
Yeah, I do. I'm just, yeah, I'm going in an entirely different direction now. I just kind of had an eye-opening experience.
Okay, well, good. I mean, you know, saving time and that kind of thing also helps. But the clients who, and I think that's how I really got started too. I was writing blog posts. I actually got embedded in a bunch of startups, and, you know, they had money and they didn't have time, so they were happy to outsource. And it wasn't until I began understanding a lot of the digital marketing stuff that, oh, I save you time. You know, that was what I brought to the table until I knew better. And now what I can bring to the table, and what you can bring to the table, is I understand what you're doing, and I can, maybe I'm reducing your workload, but I can also be productive toward your strategic goals, because I understand the strategy. It's not just that I'm a writer, it's that I understand why you have me doing this too. So, you know, now you're leveling up.
Yes. Exactly. I'm just, this is exciting. Oh, I'm going to have to write tonight. So
good. And I'm gonna, we have our preschool open house tonight, but when I get back this evening, I'll send out the replay and a link to the slides so that you can have
wonderful.
Too. This is my teether here, the super teether.
He's cute.
Oh, thank you. He's also kind of grumpy.
They're never grumpy.
Yeah.
Hey, Ashley, I have a question.
Okay, what's up?
So when did you decide it was time to niche to like specific clients? Do you know what I mean? Or like a specific type of clients,
Yeah.
or did you just keep your services more general?
I would say at some point in 2014 is when I did it. Here, let me share my screen again. And I think it had more to do with I found kind of a pocket of opportunity as opposed to saying I want to work with this person or that person. I just noticed that I was getting hired again by startups more frequently. And so that's what I chose. I also, after working for just any startup that would hire me, I decided I really liked working for people who had established blogs. I was doing blog post writing. So I found that I had a lot of traction in the personal finance space because I was already like an established reader in that space. And I had a bunch of friends, like online friends who were in that space. So it was easy for me to sort of become part of that conversation. And then I became known as a writer for hire. A lot of times when you have a niche, like you can either like strategically say, there's a lot of money in crypto, so I'm going to become a crypto writer, right? You can pick and then just like go there, or you can sort of see what unfolds, which is what I've always done. It's always been more of an unfolding. And I just essentially like, I throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall, see what sticks, and I do more of that. And eventually I notice a pattern. And so then that's how I position myself. And then there will be a time when I get really tired of it, or I don't like it anymore, or I have to do something else because life, and then I follow the next logical step.
Okay, yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Okay, good. Any other questions? I know we got a small group today. Okay, try not to kick the computer. No, if we're good, I'm gonna go ahead and end the session, but always feel free to email me or post in the Facebook group if you're in there. I'm really backed up on email, so Facebook is probably a better bet if you have any kind of time frame attached to when you hope for a response. And like I said, I'll try to get this replay out tonight, depending on how long it takes to render and everything. It might not be until tomorrow, but I guess that's all I got. So I'll see y'all later. And thanks for coming. You want to say bye? How do we stop it? Uh-huh.